Hey, it's Dr. A, and welcome to Skinny Fat Part 2. Let's take a deep dive into the actual clinical data in our client. Let's start by looking at what's normal. First, we have a perfectly normal fasting blood sugar and a perfectly normal hemoglobin A1C. We combine that with a perfectly normal fasting insulin level, and it looks like this person is extremely metabolically healthy. So what is going wrong? We have to look at the systemic inflammation. And here's what we find. We have an elevated C-reactive protein that's actually very high and an elevated myeloperoxidase antibody. Two large indicators of systemic inflammation. Where is this coming from? Well, mystery solved. Let's look at her adiponectin, which is 15.5, and her leptin, which is 25.1. When we look at that ratio, 15 over 25.1, that's going to give us 0.6, which puts her at definitely an increased risk for systemic inflammation. So how is that now manifesting in this client? Keep in mind, this is an asymptomatic, healthy, thin-appearing female. But here we have the danger zone. We have a positive ANA, which is the signs of an autoimmune disorder. So we have this perfectly healthy person, thin, normal BMI, great traditional biomarkers with a fasting insulin, a fasting blood sugar, and a hemoglobin A1C, all perfectly low and normal. But her adiponectin and her leptin are not physiologically normal. This creates an increased amount of leptin and an unopposed amount of adiponectin, causing increased systemic inflammation and immune disruption. A high amount of leptin is an immune disruptor. So this explains we have a muscle deficient person with an increased visceral adipose tissue, elevated inflammatory markers, and a flipped adiponectin-leptin ratio, and it's manifesting with systemic inflammation and an autoimmune disorder. That is how we look at a client in its entirety.